I remember everything from above the room. They brought me back, and it was 6 months later, I get diagnosed with MS. So I had like a double whammy, one right after another, back to back. And I'll tell you that, here's a guy who, at the time my diagnosis came in, I was weighing about 230. I literally was working out, trying my best. I just done a whole sprint for muscle fitness, being with the man, And, I thought I was really on top of the world, and then all of a sudden, I get this diagnosis, and I'll never forget, I walked in the doctor's office, I was in Round, Utah, to film an episode of Touch My Agent, where I used to do a lot of acting, and that character I happened to play, I would be the worst character I could ever play. I was playing a guy who was a cult leader who was getting ready to kill all these people. I'm the only person who touched my nature where Roman Downey at the end of the movie said, should we save him? She said, nah, hell. So he set me straight, so nowhere. But in around that episode, it's very funny, because every now and then they do show that and repeat on different stations. You'll notice that through that episode, I play this cult leader, this guy, this kind of Jimmy Jones guy, but at the big fire scene, I'm crying throughout the fire scene because I'm getting ready to kill 500 people. And those tears were not very difficult to conjure up, like they really are never difficult to conjure up at any point in time now. Because the day that I got on the plane to go fly and shoot that episode, my legs set on fire. My shins set on fire. My sides caught on fire. And it wouldn't stop. And that's what sent me into the doctor, and I would walk into this doctor. This guy didn't know me from Adam. Does a clinical observation, does a couple of prick tests, sticking me in places that I really appreciate stuffing him. And he said, you have MS. And then he looked me in the face and said, I'm going to tell you, you have to stop your talk show. You have to stop all the stress. You have to stop all the working out. You're going to have to stop. And I thought to myself, this man didn't know me when I walked in this door. How dare you try to tell me what I'm going to be? Where's your crystal ball? But for a minute, I got caught up in that crystal ball. I didn't. I talk about it very clearly in my book, I got so caught up in that crystal ball that I almost succumbed and did what a large percentage of people who have MS do. And that's take my life. I sat in the closet for about 3 hours sucking on the gun. Got very, very afraid of the fact that my children might find me, so I decided, let me get a little smarter. If I walk across the street here in Columbus Circle, there's cabs going around all the time in New York. If a cab hits me, nobody will think it just happened by mistake. And so, of course, I'm in Manhattan, New York, I'm walking across the street, Columbus Circle. I throw myself in front of a cab, and I get the only cab driver who's paying attention. And then, of course, he goes, I'm not down. Are you crazy? Oh, man, did you trip? He picked me up and he helped me across the street. And it was that second that made me realize, number one, how dare I live down to someone else's expectation of me and think that I could not survive this after I survived things that you can't even imagine? How dare that man? And this guy who's helping me across the street talking in my ear about how much he loves my show and how how many people really rely on me? When that hit me, it hit me like a brick. And I realized right then, that second, I don't give a damn what any doctor ever says. I have MS. Yes. MS will never have me. That's right. So what I do? Not as knowledgeable as Dr. Perlmutter, but I'm going to tell you, I sat out on that second. That day, I went back. I can't use a computer. I got 3 assistants on the computer. I said, I want you to find out everything about anything that has anything to do with MS. I want you to find me every doctor in the world that claims to be an expert, and I literally went to meet them all. I got treated at the Nobel Institute in Stockholm, Sweden. My lead doctor in my care for MS is Dr. Thomas Olsen. He was 3 years ago the signatory to the Nobel Peace Prize for neurology. Okay? I see doctors from Harvard. I see doctors from Johns Hopkins. I see doctors from UC San Francisco and after seeing all these doctors, not that I put any of them down, but dang, I was still dealing with the same issues I was dealing with. So what I decided to do is to start researching. When Dr. Perlmutter talks about inflammation, folks, inflammation is the kryptonite for MS. It's the kryptonite for most neurological diseases. And I set about, not even knowing what the science was, I set about trying to find everything and anything that I could take that could reduce the inflammation in my body. Now, I have a very good friend of mine, for different reasons, but business reasons, said, you know, you look at this company called Protandim, they have things called anti-oxidants. Really? Reduce the inflammation when you take it. So 3 years before you heard anything about this, I started putting this in my mouth as looking at the very first study that came out talking about this product's benefit. And I said, okay, it's great now. Somebody asked me about this when I say it this way, but I'm going to explain it to you. I take about 38 pills a day, every day, baggy of them, okay? And sometimes for me, it's a little tough for me to get up in the morning to put those little baggie together, so I had a housekeeper who was helping me out. So she would put them together in 30 bags at a time, and I would see her for another 30 days. She'd do it 30 bags at a time. I took Protandim for 2 years, 2.5 years. I literally, every day, not missing. And I take a lot of things. I'm on a 3-pronged approach. I take Western medication. I take a holistic program, and I have a whole hormonal replacement program. I feel very strongly that you need to have every single weapon in your quiver you can have to go to war. And Protandim was one of those weapons in my quiver. This was completely, this isn't a double-blind study, this isn't a clinical trial. I'm just going to tell you Montel. So about 9 months ago, I just didn't start feeling right. Waking up in the morning, dang, my legs dragged a little bit more. Hurt a little bit more. 5 days go by. I'm trying to figure, maybe I'm not taking the shots all the time. Maybe I'm not working out hard enough. I tried to do everything I could to figure out what it was that had changed in my life in the last month that was making me feel a little weird. Couldn't figure it out. So I finally go to the hospital. I said, what do you do with my pills? I thought, no, and we'll talk about it, and you can hear more information, along the way about other things that help you, magnesium, vitamin D. You know what I'm thinking? Maybe she just was forgetting to put the vitamin D in my bag. Something was wrong. Checked the bags and I realized I hadn't ordered the Protandim for 3 months. Okay? And when I said ordered, I hadn't sent her down to GNC to get it for 3 months. The only pill that was missing out of my bag, she had stopped putting it in there for 20 days. Day 21, I started feeling different. I felt that way until day 30, until I finally figured out what it was I was missing. I went back on Protandim 8 months ago. That feeling went away in 3 days. So in spite of them doing this project, this is what I take every day. This is one of the arrows in my quiver that I use, and I believe it's because of all the research and science that Dr. Perlmutter has just presented to you that it makes me feel the way I do. And I would say that to anybody on the planet. I don't care what research facility it is. I know what I do. I take my shot. I have to take 3 shots a day. I take one of them within 15 minutes of itself every day for the last 3 years. I've not missed it. Before that, for 4 years before that, I was within an hour. I'm within 15 minutes a day. If I could fly here today and I'll wind up in London on the plane, I will get up, wake up, take that shot exactly on time. I'm that in. I do it with everything I do. So if the only thing I changed in my life was Protandim for 45 days, and that clearly started making me feel worse, and the second I put it back in 8 days later, I started feeling like myself. This is a product that I'm going to be behind, and I want to try to make sure I get you behind to help you understand that you're embarking on an opportunity right now that I don't believe has been available in this world and our world. But I don't really believe this has been available since the dawn of selling products. Because you have a product right now. It's not just about making money. It's about making people feel better. It's about impacting what the national discussion has been in the last couple of weeks. And we all hear everybody talking about healthcare, right? You hear this on the news every day, talking about the bill they're trying to pass. But we're not really trying to pass a healthcare bill. We're trying to pass a sick care bill. How we can continue to react rather than be proactive. And right now you have an opportunity to walk out here and say to people when you talk about this product, this is an opportunity for you to lessen your health footprint. Your healthcare footprint. Why? Because as you start becoming proactive and reducing inflammation in your body, you will reduce your body's chances